We've reached day 140 of a screenwriter's journey. I just want to say a couple things. No matter how many people watch this now or in the future when I become even more famous, as I've said before, I'm not doing this to get a zillion people to watch and get views and everything. But if one or two or a handful of people can watch and learn, and I don't expect anyone to watch every single one of these, again, unless this becomes an Oscar-winning screenplay or even in the nominated. But I mean, if a few people watch this, they watch an episode here and there and learn something, that's fine. And it is a ton of work. I mean, there's the writing work, which obviously is the major work. And then there's the recording of these voiceovers and all of the stuff that goes with that, which, I mean, it's not tremendously huge, but it takes time and it is a commitment. And I guess my point is that I'm doing this in very small part. I expect anyone to watch this, but I'm really doing it as a disciplined way of having something like writing that you do every day. I think maybe with two exceptions because I was out of town or I may have forgotten or whatever, but I mean, to upload these every day, it's not a huge carve out. It only takes 5 minutes, but it's just another discipline. You got to do it every day. And I don't know, I don't have any finish for that sentence, but it's sort of like writing. I mean, you can't write, I don't know anyone who could write once a week and be a good, whatever, novelist, screenwriter, poetry writer, short stories. Maybe you could, I guess, but, and I don't write every day. I try to write, I guess I try to write 5 days a week. Weekends I do, I mean, I consider the weekends when I do my most work. I don't know if it's my best work, but a little in the morning, sometimes before work, if I get up early enough and have 20 minutes. 30 minutes would be awesome, but usually not. I'm making a note there. Just watch a documentary on the history of Pixar. What is the story? So now I'm trying to come up with a new log line after working on the script for 140 days. That's crazy. So you probably get my point that I'm not doing this to get popular and to have a bunch of likes and people go, oh my gosh, you're just amazing. But if I can help anyone, awesome. I'm probably doing this as much or more for myself to have a document of it and just to see, I mean, what the experience is like writing and then looking at what you've written, commenting on it, posting it, having people say, oh, this is stupid. No one cares about it. And that, I mean, that affects me just like when someone reads your script and goes, this is trash. And that's happened before. And on the various Facebook pages, people are like, stop wasting our time and you should be writing and all that kind of stuff. Well, guess what? I was writing the whole time. I was just taking additional time out of my day that I could have been watching TV or watching YouTube or whatever and doing this. So booyah. I don't mean that in a mean way at all. You can argue that you could always write more if you write 20 minutes a day or 2 hours a day or 6 hours a day. I don't know that I've ever written 6 that would be a long day for anyone. But the argument is, well, you could always write another 20 minutes or 30 minutes. But then, of course, you talk about the law of diminishing returns. And then it leads to the thinking, well, I'd rather write 2 or 3 hours of what I consider good stuff than 6 hours of mediocre stuff, or your mind starts to drift or whatever. So anyways, so I watched some Pixar documentary and I think I'm really rethinking this now. And you can read what I'm writing here, so I'm not going to repeat it. Manipulative lady. So that's Rachel, obviously. So it's just crazy. 140 days, and I'm not rethinking the whole story, or am I? But it just was a real eye-opener. And I get caught up in that a lot. I think I get ideas for stories and then I write without maybe doing as much background or thinking about it as I should. And then you get done with it a month or 3 months or 6 months later, and then you step back and you say, what is this story? What am I trying to, not just, you can follow the story, but what is the story? Why did you write it? Like Toy Story, or pick any of the great Pixar movies. They've got the story, but then what are they really about? And so I guess that's kind of the question that I'm going through here. Story of redemption, having one's eyes opened, and then, so now I'm taking all this Save the Cat stuff and I'm probably going to cut and paste it, and now I'm going to go through and sort of rework this. And so this was, oops, I don't have the date of the script because this document doesn't have the date in it. So I'll have to see what it was. But Hogan is not going to be in the opening. I had an idea that maybe he was the husband who Rachel testified against. And that, I go back and forth on that. I think that would be a little too, I don't know, convenient or contrived or something. So, and then I say, but psst, he's not really the bad guy. Because I thought that it would be really interesting if Holly, I mean, they wouldn't really fall in love, but they were sort of forced together maybe to find Lexi after Rachel basically kidnaps her. But then as I thought about it and started working through it, it represents a lot of logistical problems. And at the same time, and I haven't mentioned this for a long time, but I am specifically writing this for somebody who wants like a $1, $2, maybe $3 million movie. And then you get into the question of the cast, how many people, how many locations. And so it's sort of in the back of my mind when I'm writing this. Obviously, there can't be any big set pieces. There can't be no special effects to speak of. Certainly, it's a small cast. Anyways, so day 140 brings with it kind of a revelation that I need to rethink, if not restart the story. Yippee! I'm so happy. Am I? Can you tell? Can you not? Let's check in again tomorrow on a screenwriter's journey.